And we are back with Corpse Factory, episode number 5. My name is Mr. Doctor. Welcome back. So let's see how this Corpse Girl website works. A blinking slab of text greets me. One new request. A crooked smile cracks my stony expression. Finally, somebody has requested death. Somebody has asked me, Corpse Girl, to kill a victim. This is where things get exciting. I giggle and feel my cheeks flush red. This is the first request I've had for about a week. I've been logging in every evening, fingers crossed that somebody has elected a new victim for me. Today my wish has come true. I can't help but feel emotional at a time like this. My lower lip trembles and I feel tears welling up. I dab the corners of my eyes gently to avoid smudging my makeup. As I hover my mouse cursor over the view request button, a familiar and pleasant tingling sensation surges in my chest, my stomach, my thighs. I shiver with anticipation, my hot and steamy breath beginning to fog up the laptop screen. I click the button. Request details. Today, 2:47 p.m. Victim's phone. Downloading image. Attachment. The victim's photo automatically loads on my screen. And who? The person in front of me is a total stranger. But that's okay. It doesn't change the task set out before me. A woman, rather plain, in her early 30s. She's well dressed with minimal makeup, and she's not really putting her personality on display. It's a nice photo. Better quality than some of the images I've received in the past. In fact, the photo looks like a corporate ID picture. I wonder if it was downloaded from a company, database, or website. Well, the source of the photo doesn't matter. The simple fact of the matter is that somebody has made a request for this person to die. It falls to me to fulfill that request, and as Corpse Girl, I take requests very, very seriously. I have the victim's photo and I have her phone number. All I need now is to select a way for her to meet her untimely demise. I've previously thought about including an extra field on my website, an option for the user to choose the way they want their victim to die. After all, it would reduce the amount of strain on my creativity if the method was decided for me. But after careful consideration, I decided against it. Some people are sick, twisted. The cause of death could be far beyond my means and impossible to achieve. Therefore, allowing the user to define the cause of death just isn't feasible. Instead, I'll stick to my current modus operandi. Everything depends on the quality of the victim's photo. If it's detailed and the victim's features are easily distinguishable, then I can be rather creative with the cause of death. Perhaps the victim's face suffers grotesque burns, or she has an iron stake thrust through her skull. However, if the victim's photo is low quality and doesn't provide enough detail to identify the subject, I have to resort to the default cause of death. A terrible, unlucky fall from a great height. Maybe she slips, or maybe someone stumbles into her and sends her tumbling over a rail. The end result will be the same: a swift, crushing death from on high. The victim will end up face down on the concrete, completely unrecognizable, save for her clothes and accessories. It's not my favorite cause of death, but in some cases it is necessary. Regardless, it is still a valid way to fulfill the request. For now, it's time to get started. I can barely contain my excitement. I squirm against the couch, crossing and uncrossing my legs in a vain attempt to dissipate the heat rising through my body. Taking a deep breath, I try to calm my nerves and get to work. The victim will receive a photo of her own corpse, time-stamped with the date of her death. It's Corpse Girl's signature move, my calling card, if you will. Seeing an image of one's own disfigured corpse is sure to strike fear into one's heart, and that's precisely the reason I take this step, to make the victim panic and act rashly. First things first, I save the victim's photo to my laptop's hard drive. I store it in a folder discreetly named System Files, hidden away in the root directory of my operating system, a password-encrypted directory, of course. Next, I open up my favorite image editing software and load the photo. Looking carefully at the detail in the picture, I can see that this will be a work of art. I can really go to town with this request. I minimize the software, open my web browser, and access a particular website. The database of the deceased, the Double D, as it's known on the dark web. My secret weapon, the ultimate resource for my work. The Double D is a collection of countless high-resolution photographs of dead bodies, murder victims, crime scenes, suicides. If somebody has died in one way or another, chances are good that some perverted individual has captured the moment in all its gory glory. Such valuable images are essential to my work. Using the photos as a base, I can edit my victim's details into the picture. My process is simple. I start by locating the perfect corpse photo. I search the database, and in less than 2 minutes I discover a disgustingly detailed photo of a woman with her entrails spilling from her stomach. Her face is blue, having suffocated before even having a chance to bleed to death. She's about the same age as my victim. She's of a similar height and build. Finding a photo that specifically suits my victim's features is easy, thanks to the Double D's excellent catalog of tags and filters. I simply search for the keywords that match my victim's description and find a corpse that fits. Using this photo as a starting point, I digitally edit my victim's face onto the body. It's not some quick job that even a child can do. It's a painstakingly crafted work of art that would fool even the keenest eye. An hour passes, then 2, then 3. Before I know it, midnight has come and gone, but the work is nearing completion. All that remains is to add the final touches. I like to add specific, distinguishable details to the image. A personal item or accessory, clothes, makeup, you name it, I can edit it in. With personal details added, I adjust the lighting and color palette, just slightly, enough to make the photo truly unique. If the victim decides to reverse image search the photo and discovers that it's a forgery, all my work would be for naught. And with that, the masterpiece is complete. A grisly, gruesome, gratuitously a gory gift for the soon-to-be departed. The victim will receive this photo of a corpse that is, for all intents and purposes, a perfect replica of her own physical form. She will open the image on her phone and the life she once knew will crumble to pieces. My lips curl into a satisfied smirk. During my hours of work, my breathing eventually steadied. My excited nerves settled into a zen-like calm. But seeing the finished art piece now, I begin to feel my heart pounding once more. The macabre vision before me is exhilarating. Adrenaline and dopamine surge throughout my body, giving me a sudden head rush of bliss. To say that I'm attracted to the sight of blood and guts would be misleading. No. I'm not into that at all. The excitement stems from the thought of taking control of somebody else's life, dictating their future, controlling their fate. For with the creation of this image, I have taken the victim's life into my own hands, like a puppet master pulling the strings of a marionette. By forging this convincing creation, I will compel the victim to take her own life. That's right. My own hands need not become stained. The hands of Corpse Girl have never been dirtied with the blood of a victim. This is the true nature of my work. Carefully crafting corpse photos in such a way to convince the victim that their fate is already sealed, that no matter what they do, they cannot escape the death that awaits them. And the date stamped on the photo is the icing on the cake, the ultimate driving force behind the victim choosing to end their own life. A date so near in the future, a time that has not yet occurred, a fiber of uncertainty carefully interwoven into the image that causes the victim to pause and consider the possibilities. Is this photo from the future? Is this truly my fate? How can I outrun a future that has been pre-decided? These are the thoughts that run through a victim's mind. Despair and dread flood the senses. overwhelming anxiety gives way to calm acceptance. This is my dead body. This is how I die. Why should I fight it? And when the victim's last vestige of resistance gently breaks, like a silk spiderweb being torn by a cool breeze, they finally give in. They invite their end. This is the way it will go down for this woman, this complete and total stranger. I'm confident, certain, convinced. Okay. Well, it is an explanation. So, but would that mean that the corpse Amy was looking at was just her fantasy? It wasn't real? Huh. It was a sudden spark of inspiration that guided me to begin fabricating corpse photos about a year ago. I can never quite recall exactly what it was that spawned the idea. Sometimes I get close to remembering, but the recollection dances at the edge of my mind and slips back into the darkness. Regardless, I ventured down a dark and dangerous path. I built Corpse Girl's website and invited strangers to request the deaths of people they knew. It was a sales tactic, simply a way to encourage users to submit images. I had no intention or means of ending lives. Little did I know of the true power I wielded. I only intended to create corpse photos and send them to people for fun. I wanted to startle and scare some unsuspecting fools. It would be a lie to claim that I didn't get off on it. The thought of people shrieking in fear at the sight of their own corpse was more than delicious. It sated my budding lust. It filled a dark hole in the depths of my soul and gave me purpose. Never in a million years did I dream that one of my corpse photos would result in the death of another human being. I will never forget her name. Rory Hatano. 20-something. Slim. Gorgeous. Eyes that took my breath away the moment I gazed upon her portrait. She was the first person to make me feel bad about crafting hoax photos. The only person to make me feel bad about it. But I did it anyway. Corpse Girl never rejects a request. It's my conviction. I forged a beautiful rendition of her death, thanks to some rather macabre source photos obtained via the database of the deceased. I strung Rory's corpse up in a field like a ghoulish scarecrow. The photo was incredible. It was my 5th or 6th work. The 5th or 6th time a user of Corpse Girl's website requested a death. Rory Hatano died just hours after receiving the photo. I don't know why. I don't know if she killed herself or if someone murdered her. But I know one thing. Rory Hatano's body, her real body, was found in a field, hanging like a scarecrow, surrounded by crows. Her eyes had been gouged out of her skull, and her stiff fingers clutched her phone tightly. According to the news report, her phone displayed a familiar image, the very image I created of her corpse. When I first learned of Rory's death, I was overcome with varying emotions. I felt sick, elated, disgusted, overjoyed, depressed, aroused. Had I somehow caused her death? Was Corpse Girl responsible for taking a life? Even though my hands were stained with blood, I still felt responsible. A lurid truth descended upon me at that moment. Corpse Girl held the power to end lives, and the more I dwelled on that fact, the more obvious it became to me. I began to feel that power pulsing through my veins, thrumming in my blood as my heart pumped and pounded within my chest. I can't explain how the power works, and I don't know why I have it, but somehow the corpse photos I create can compel a victim to end their own life, or compel someone else to end it for them. Rory died in the way that I envisioned. Her dead body matched the fake corpse photo I painstakingly crafted, and I didn't even have to leave the safety and comfort of my apartment to ensure her death. Corpse Girl's power is real, extraordinary, and I vowed to exercise that power as frequently as possible. Huh. Interesting. Rory Hatno died last year. Since then, I've been chasing that rush, that thrill that comes with snuffing out a soul. It wasn't hard to grow the popularity of Corpse Girl's website after that incident. Particularly dark corners of the internet gobbled up the news with enthusiasm, and the site saw an influx of new visitors. And on a few occasions, I've even overheard people in the real world whispering about the mysterious website that lets you request a death. I've crafted corpse photos for dozens of requests. Each photo is more convincing and realistic than the last, thanks to my ever-evolving skills. But none of my recent attempts have been successful. Not a single person has dropped dead since Rory Hatno. I'm beginning to wonder if Corpse Girl's power has fizzled out. Or perhaps I never had any power to begin with. Maybe Rory's death was simply a fluke, a morbid coincidence. I've spent countless hours doubting myself, doubting Corpse Girl. I've tried so hard to replicate that one success. Every time I receive a request, I do the same thing as I did in Rory Hatno's case. I edit a photo of the victim, I create a convincing corpse photo, and I timestamp it with the time of death. I send a photo to the victim, and then I leave the rest up to fate. But nothing ever comes of it. I'm not so delusional to think that, in normal circumstances, a simple photo would be enough to convince someone to kill themselves. And even if that photo fell into someone else's hands, it wouldn't inspire them to go out and kill the victim. Of course not. However, these are no ordinary circumstances. I once activated a power beyond the ken of mortal man. I caused Ruri Hatano to die by her own hand, or by the hand of another. I need to find a way to manifest my power once more, to prove that I, Corpse Girl, have the power of death and destruction at my fingertips. Once a new victim perishes, I know it will pave the way to more and more deaths. My website will gain popularity and become more than just an urban myth. People will live their lives in fear, forever wondering if Corpse Girl is lurking behind the next text message they receive. Yes, I can see the future I crave so clearly in my mind. I'm close to achieving my goal. I know I am. And when my dream comes true, I can finally Tuesday morning. The incessant chirping of birds gently kindles the embers of my consciousness. My heavy eyelids open to find my body contorted before me, legs splayed across the couch in the most uncomfortable position I can imagine. I groan and twist my torso, letting my spine pop and crack until the aches in my body drift away. I need to stop falling asleep on the couch. I'm still young, but I can't handle a night away from my comfortable bed. My eyes fall upon my open laptop, lying on its side on the floor. The screen is blank, the battery drained. I briefly panic, hoping against hope that I saved my work before falling asleep. I stumble to my feet and pick up the laptop, then charge toward the power outlet. I plug in and boot up, revitalizing the mechanical beast and feeling a wave of relief as the whirring of the internal fans signify the breath of life. The screen flickers and bathes my eyes in harsh light. My eyes squint against my will and I make out the image before me. The mutilated corpse of my latest victim, perfection in picture form. The timestamp in the lower corner reads May 27, 11:07 a.m. Tomorrow's date. The photo is ready to be sent out. If I send it now, the victim will receive it immediately, notice the date, and realize that her death is imminent. It's time to set the wheels of demise in motion. Corpse Factory, episode number 5. My name is Mr. Doktor. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. And goodbye.
The frame